We have 68 days to the US elections. What will be the outcome? And how can you get a leg up on guessing it so as to invest better? First, here in brief is how we came to where we are today based on my Washington's scuttlebutt by informers. The rumors are that the President Biden was told by Obama's minion to stand down from the coming elections or he'd be subject to the 25th Amendment, that is, proven unfit to hold office. The rumors are that Biden was even presented with the evidence for this, which, based on his health condition, would not be difficult to prove. The end result, though, was that Biden did as he was told. However, his Irish temper rose, and instead of just walking meekly away, he announced he is endorsing Kamala, and of course, transferring to her all his hundreds of millions of dollars in re-election funds. Obama allegedly hit the roof because, so say the rumors, he wanted to bring in his own man, who will later do as Obama tells him to do. Who was this man? Some say it's Senator Kelly from Arizona, the former astronaut, who is as deep state as they come, both on the political and military side and on the secret space program side. I'll say no more about this part. If you know, you know. Yet, other possibilities, other possible names were mentioned, but the upshot was Obama's plan for nominating his own choice was stumped, and there was nothing he could do about it. This, by the way, say the rumors, is why it took him 3 whole days to endorse Kamala also, even though he knew she is, I quote, hopeless in almost any way. I said almost. At any rate, the presidential race is now on. Who will win it? Since I'm not an American, I have to go to my US informers who have a feel for it, giving preference, though, to those informers who have been mostly right in the past. There are 2 views among my best informers. One view is that it all depends on Wisconsin. If Trump loses Wisconsin, he loses the election, because everything and everyone connected to the regime will be against him, and all other states will come in balance, even Steven. In fact, all the assistants of Romney, of McCain, Bush Jr. and Bush Sr. all came in support of Kamala, even though they are all Republicans. And of course, all the hush-hush CIA operative came out for her. The volume of such endorsement rose so much, especially after Bobby Kennedy Jr. came in support of Trump and hinted that Trump would give him a say in the choice of personnel in the White House. More about this soon, because it's important. At any rate, the race is now on. One view is that if Trump wins Wisconsin, he wins the presidency. If he loses Wisconsin, he loses. Which means that all the ancient favors will be used. Any sheriff in Wisconsin, in any county or any other state that oversees vote counting, any district attorney in that state or any other state or any judge, all will be set on by Washington politicians so as to do the right thing and banish the orange man forever. So that's one view. What's the other view? The other view is that the deep state will negotiate and capitulation finagle and somehow get to a contingent election. That is, no one will get 270 electors. It will be, say, at least 2 of my informers, 269 to Republicans, 269 to the Democrats, with the last 2 taking forever to be counted. And if there are any shenanigans, the thing will then go to Congress to decide. But wait, what shenanigans? Remember my last video clip? I mentioned internet interruption, stockbrokers going offline, maybe a virus or 2, mass riots, or just plain mayhem that would prevent voters from casting their vote? Or how about legal challenges to the votes, as in Bush versus Gore? Remember that? And hanging chads? Anyway, if it goes to Congress, I'm saying if, then Congress chooses the president, no longer the electors, but the sitting representatives themselves, after lots of negotiation and wrangling, which after all is part of democracy. In such a case, Congress will vote for the president and the Senate will choose the vice president. Remember, that is a low probability outcome. Nevertheless, you can bet that at this very moment, there are serious political operatives in the US who are doing a simulation of all the above possibilities and pinpoint who has to be bought off where, at what price to get which outcome. And each key person that can be bought off is counting his power advantage and how much he or she can charge for it. So what if it does go to Congress? who could win it? My bet would be on Mike Johnson, the current House Speaker, a Republican, who already came in as a speaker when Representative Gates from Florida had Kevin McCarthy, the previous speaker, kicked out because McCarthy was acting allegedly against the interest of the more conservative GOP vote members whom Gates represents. Thus, Mike Johnson, a small-town lawyer, already has a history of being able to swing opposing interests to his side by mediating the different demands and coming to a sort of middle. Will it happen again? I, of course, don't know. I'm not an expert in US politics, although, as you can see from the above, I'm a fairly enthusiastic follower of it. But I am a sort of expert in the stock market, or as much as my 50-plus years in the market will allow. And the market, at the moment, is throwing at me two baffling opposing signals, which at this point I wouldn't expect to see together. Like which two signals? The first is the upward huge thrust of the market, which is going very strong. Yes, I know. It is because, as I told the last year and a half, Janet Yellen has been printing bonds with abandon to re-elect Brandon. And now, as my DC wits say, to elect the Wanton. Don't tell anyone I said that. It's not nice. But the market is not voting for Kamala because she's advocating all kinds of insane communist policies, like taxing unrealized gains or raising capital gains tax a lot and corporate tax and mandating price controls out of Venezuela. So the market's strong rise sure isn't forecasting a Kamala win. Because you see, the stock market is usually a prescient forecaster. As back as 1942, the Battle of Midway, when everyone seems so hopeless for the Allies, the stock market took off into a huge bull market that, in retrospect, forecasted the Allies' win. Or, more recently, in January 1991, as the first Tomahawk cruise missile was fired in the Gulf War, the stock market took off and never looked back. And there are other such cases. Still, with Kamala's insane economic policies, the market still keeps zooming ahead, apparently without a worry in the world. Does it mean that the market forecasts that Kamala will lose and Donald will win? Not so fast. Remember that Bobby Kennedy said that he could help choose personnel in the White House? He also said that his mandate in the new Trump administration will be to make America's children healthy again. Make how? Well, he'll go after the pharma companies who make drugs, as he has been doing over the last 20 years, suing them again and again. Only now, he would have the US government's power on his side. See it as a benevolent, do-good Dr. Fauci, if you can. Bobby Kennedy said plainly that neither he nor Trump worry much about the impact of all this on pharma stocks. So what did pharma stocks do? Did they plunge? No, they yawned and kept rising, like which stock? Like Fate Pharma, FATE, or BHVN, or NVAX, Novavax, and others. So apparently the stock market, which doesn't see a Kamala win, perhaps doesn't see a Trump and Bobby Kennedy win either. So who does the market say will win? It, of course, doesn't speak, or if it does, it's in a language I can't always read. However, for me, the market indifference to the impact of both Kamala and the Orange Man means that the possibility of a contingent election is not zero. Not high, mind you, but not zero either. So who can win it via Congress? Mike Johnson is a possibility, as I said, but so is Joe Manchin, a rebel Democrat, and so are a few others. But let me stop here. As someone wiser than me once said, it is very difficult to forecast, especially the future. You can only lay odds on it and throw the dice, or in my case, go long and short the properly slew stock. So what would I do now? Remember again, I'm not recommending anything. I'm just opinionating. And my idle opinionation is that the market will keep zooming from S&P 5600 here to S&P 6900 or even 7000, or the market might even go a bit higher than that. But then something will break. What will break? How? I don't know. So let's wait 68 days and find out. Or will we have to wait 70 days or 80 with riots and lawsuits and stuff? That is also possible. But here is really I must stop. I have a few stocks to sleuth. That's it for now. Please subscribe and retweet to all your followers and subscribers who they subscribe to. And please buy my books, The Sleuth Investor and The Advanced Sleuth Investor, as well as my thrillers, and give all of them reviews on Amazon, which I hope will be good ones. I'll see you next time. And meantime, thank you very much for watching.